Chapter 4 The Scourge of the Underworld. Knave the Acolyte returned to his master, Darth Malphus, who said, "So, you have returned, Acolyte." Knave bowed and said, "Liam did not make it. We failed to kill the Hutt, but the cartel is convinced that it was a plot by the Jedi and the rebels. Every bounty hunter and assassin are after our enemies as we speak." Darth Malphus focused on the Acolyte and said, "Do not underestimate the enemy. We cannot allow this rebellion to grow. If we want to earn your place as my apprentice, you must personally deal with this. Travel to Coruscant and assist the cartel's bounty hunters and assassins in defeating the Jedi." Knave simply agreed to his master's request without question. He would take the Jedi Titan to Coruscant, where he would meet with Dardo Spad, who had every major assassin and bounty hunter with him. The platform was filled with criminals. Coruscant within the galaxy grew tired of living in fear. In the Jedi Council chambers, Ghost Longstaff appeared before the Council for the first time in years. They had known Master Mary McDougal was in favor of reinstating the Jedi Exile to the new Jedi Order, as Ghost had disaided the Jedi Enclave and the rebels on Yavin 4. Grandmaster Marcus Moreau watched him closely. Ghost Longstaff stood before the Council. Beside him, Andre Dawnbreaker, who bowed before the Council as well. Marcus Moreau stared upon them closely, his glasses tilting to one side. He said in a serious tone, "So, Sir Andre, you have brought before us the Jedi Exile." Andre said calmly, "Yes, Master Ghost Longstaff, former Jedi Knight, friend, and now one of the leaders of the rebellion." Sir Longstaff was approved by Mary McDougal to restudy the ways of the Force. She states it was the will of the Force as the Sith attacked the training enclave on Yavin 4. Marcus Moreau nodded, then turned to Jeej, who would ask the question that burned on every council master's mind. Jeej said, "Witness Darth Ridian, you did." Ghost Longstaff bowed and said, "Yes, Master. First at the mining facility, 2 parsecs from Tatooine, then again in Yavin 4. Ernaling leaned forward from his council seat and asked, "If this was your second encounter with Ridian, this is no coincidence." Vinci Blessed rubbed his chin. He looked rather matured in his time on the council. Since the schism, his calm demeanor and voice echoed, booming through the chambers as he said, "Darth Ridian has been transported to Coruscant's highest security facility. The Jedi Temple Guard, as well as Master Massimo Questi and Master Mantis Grebe, are leading the Temple Guard in security measures and protecting the prisoner. We will question him and ensure that he is no longer a threat to civilians and other Jedi." Council Master Molar Questi looked to the 2 young Jedi and then asked, "I heard Master Jericho Yost is one of the rebel leaders. Is this true, Sir Longstaff?" Ghost scratched his head for a moment and said, "Yes, Master Yost is a part of the rebellion. We fight with the rebels as we feel it is the best way to serve the Jedi, even if this is in our exiles within leave for the Order." Dardo Spad, along with Knave, had arrived on Coruscant while the Council was talking. With able-bodied bounty hunter and assassins, the Hutt's cartel had landed. The Jedi Temple would be surrounded. Although the authorities in Coruscant security force were not alarmed, many of the Jedi felt a disturbance in the Force. Within moments, the assassins took control of the upper city, while the bounty hunters scaled the walls of the Jedi Temple. Dardo Spad, Knave, and a group of hunters entered through the front doors of the Jedi Temple. Koji Star, the Jawa Council Master, could be seen in the map room of the Jedi Temple, overlooking a hollow image when blaster shots came towards him. He ignited his double-bladed lightsaber, repelling the shots, taking down several bounty hunters. Then he cut down the last one. Council Master Obanal Kur was talking with Council Master Bliss Darrow when they were surrounded by bounty hunters. They defended themselves. Obanal Kur said in a humble tone, "The cartel has made a move against the new Jedi Order. This seems unorthodox even for them." Bliss Darrow held off another group with the Force. He responded, "They must have lost control of themselves. Kedek the Hutt is losing his cool." The 2 council masters fought their way out of the great archives in the Coruscant Jedi Temple. A Jedi Master by the name of Victor Brody, a human with a dark beard and short hair, would be seen in the hollow communications center of the temple. He would be unsure of himself, but then he spoke over the hollow, calling all rebels and soldiers of democracy. The Jedi Temple is under attack and we need your help. Victor did not have the permission of the council, but he knew they needed the help. Dado Spad, a knave who wielded only a viral blade, had managed to barricade the main halls of the Jedi Temple and kill several Jedi Temple guard who tried to resist their advance. Knave said to Dardo, "I sense factors have changed. Come with me." Dardo did not trust the Sith. He hesitated, then said, "Any funny stuff and you'll regret it." Knave led Dardo through the hallways of the temple to the communications center, where Victor Brody and 2 other Jedi Masters led a team of Jedi Temple guards. Dardo looked for openings in the armor of the Jedi Temple guard, his blasters and explosives making quick work of those who were caught in misfire. Titus Agnon, a muscular man with spiky hair and brown Jedi robes, with a single blue Jedi lightsaber, came after Knave. He would defend and block with his viral blade. Dardo moved to throw a couple more sticky grenades, 1 frag grenade and another shock grenade, firing blaster shots through the smoke. Victor Brody would miss the explosion of the frag grenade and dodge a few blaster shots, but got hit by the shock grenade and would fall into one of the cubicles and go unconscious. A Jedi Master by the name of Perwin Rambler came charging through the smoke and would get shot down by Dardo's Spad. Knave and Titus continued to fight. The focus of the two were matched with the Sith Acolyte, who took advantage of the fallen Jedi. Bringing Rambler's blade to his hand, he ignited a single blue blade and struck Titus hard. Dardo Spad wasted no time in firing at the communications. He would cut off the communications, but it was too late. He knew this mission was pointless. He would leave Knave to fight the Jedi as the bounty hunter fled the communications building. As he fought his way back to the main hall, he would see a Jedi he recognized. Jedi Master Neo Scion ignited his double-bladed lightsaber and charged Dardo. He fought in melee combat after he was quicker than Neo. The Jedi surrendered and allowed Dardo to flee. Dardo ran to a ship. Neo Scion would watch him escape as Dardo left the Second Grand Army of the Republic, landed on Coruscant. Commander Yuri and a platoon of clone troopers arrived on the scene. They said to Neo Scion, "Master Scion, our forces are engaging in the cartel's assassins. My platoon, as well as Major Hedges' squadron, will assist you in clearing the temple of these bounty hunters." Commander Yuri and his clone troopers would be under the command of Neo Scion, who would lead them back into the Grand Hall. They would move in every direction, clearing out the temple and preventing the Jedi from losing any warriors. Meanwhile, on a camp in Concord Dawn, Mandalore Dazzle Street, Garth Lackness and many Clanalores met, sitting around a round table. Garth Lackness said the cartel is vital to our operations. An elderly Mandalorian in Clan Vizsla armor said the cartel is weak. What goes up must come down. Dazzle Street then stood up from the table and said, "Viper makes a valid point. The cartel is about to come plummeting down. We have worked hard to rebuild the Mandalorian systems. We will not assist the cartel. It has provoked a beast to which it cannot tame." Garth Lackness responded, "What if the cartel takes retribution?" Dazzle Street then said, "They are in no position to. We will use this time to train armies and strengthen our position in the galaxy." Nico Fett, a Mandalorian in dark and orange armor, said, "We should attack the cartel and claim it for ourselves." Arden Muriel, a Mandalorian in blue armor, said, "We must restore tradition and custom." Dazzle Street spoke next. "We will train more foundlings and continue efforts to rebuild Mandalore and fortifications in other worlds. The time is right. We will attack the Hutts and any others who stand in the way of making Mandalore great again." Back in Coruscant, the Jedi Temple, Knave stabbed Master Titus in the chest. He grasped and fell to the ground. The acolyte known as Knave lunged through the hallways and found himself heading towards the Jedi Council chambers. When he got inside, only Ghost Longstaff sat there in meditation. Knave looked to him and said, You are different than the rest." Longstaff stood up and then said, "I am no Jedi." Knave responded with anger, "Yet you carry the weapon of a Jedi." Ghost Longstaff ignited his yellow lightsaber. then said, I have learned what the path of the Jedi truly means. Knave, who held up the slain Jedi Master's blue lightsaber, had caused the crystal to become unstable, giving the lightsaber a look of its own, as if it took a step towards bleeding the crystal. Knave charged Ghost and said, You will become more powerful than any Jedi. Join me and you will become the most powerful Jedi. They have already turned their backs on you. Can't you see it? Ghost reflected each swing and said, How do I know I can trust you? Ghost returned the exchange with offensive slashes of his own. Knave force pushed Ghost and yelled out, Because we are both have something the other needs. Ghost Longstaff stood at the other end of the council chambers. Ghost Longstaff thought long and hard about Knave's offer, but did not give in. He charged. Knave, his yellow blade, met the unstable blue blade as Knave flipped backwards towards Ghost, who force pushed him out of the window. The acolyte became gravely wounded as he landed on the temple gardens. A squad of clone troopers engaged. He would use the force to expel them all in a shockwave and use the force jump to in front of the temple, seeing Major Hedges, another squad of clone troopers who unleashed until he fell to his death, running off the side of the hangar bay, falling to his death. Dardo Spad, who escaped, jumped to Now Hutta, where he was greeted by Captain Milo, who led him to Kedek the Hutt. Kedek laughed, and his translator droid asked, So, have the Jedi learned their lesson? Dardo Spad nodded. The Jedi have learned. It was a costly price to pay. Kedek smacked the droid, who said, It is a price worth paying. Here is your cut, bounty hunter. Dardo Spad took his payment and left the halls of Kedek's palace. In the Jedi Council chambers, the Jedi Council met Ghost Longstaff once more. Marcus Moreau said, You have proven yourself capable of resisting the dark side, Ghost. The Council would like to offer you a chance to rejoin. Ghost Longstaff thought for a long moment and said, At this time I am not able to rejoin the Order. I have pledged myself to the rebellion, and until I fulfill my commitments, I must decline. Marcus Moreau nodded and said, Then you must complete your mission, Sir Longstaff. Ghost Longstaff returned to the Condor, where SS-19 Tonka and Blade awaited him. CP-4, a protocol droid who had previously been with the crew before Ghost Longstaff, Blade and Tonka emerged. Blade went to smack the droid with an iron bar. The droid yelled out, Please, no. I am CP-4, Human-Cyborg Relations, a protocol droid. Blade then said, How did you get in here? CP-4 said, My master left me at the Katina. Many rotations ago. I seen the ship has returned and I thought I would rejoin. SS-19 happily beeped along as it recognized CP-4. CP-4 said, This ship is the property of Captain Brando Silva, and none of you look like Captain Silva. Tonka said in a raspy, rough voice, I am just the co-pilot and mechanic. Blade then said, Your master Brando Silva lost us in a bet in Tatooine. Since then he has disappeared. CP-4 then said, He bet SS-19 too? How dare he? Blade then said, SS-19 is the property of the ship, and as are you. So you both are able to serve Captain Longstaff now. Sakisto appeared over the Condor's holofeed. You are to be commended for your efforts, Captain Longstaff. The Jedi Council has established communications with the Rebellion. This is a first great step in building relationships with the new Jedi Order. Kedek the Hutt has split his council and lost influence with the Mandalorians. For the first time in forever, the tides have changed. With the clone troopers and some Jedi support, we can push back the Hutt's cartel. The Republic Liberation Forces have been founded as a joint union between the rebels, Federation remnants, and clones. If it were not for your assistance, none of this would be possible. Ghost Longstaff nodded and said, I can't help but to feel that this was not a victory, but the start of another war. Sakisto responded, The rebellion will return freedom to the galaxy sometime. We have to fight for what is right. Ghost Longstaff then asked, What's our mission? Sakisto responded, I want your crew to set up shop in the city of Theed on Naboo. We want to train a rebel corps. with the Queen's Guard to gain Naboo's support in the rebellion. Condor took off and jumped into Naboo, slowly descending towards the forest cities. The